I'm 40 and I wasted my life. I've got nothing to show for it. No house, no savings, no career that I'm proud of. I'm pouring everything that I have into this channel because I've got nothing else. And if you're in your 20s or even your early 30s and you think you've got time, I'm telling you right now, you don't. I wish I had someone in my life when I was younger, someone who actually cared enough about me and was smart enough to show me how life really worked, how women really operated, and what I actually needed to focus on. I didn't have that. I was getting all of my ideas about love and success and women from movies and idiots my own age who didn't know anything at all. So there was no sense of urgency, no perspective.
Can't forget the music. Big part of it.
Just vibes and dumb plans and this fantasy that everything would somehow work itself out. And it didn't. In my 20s, I thought I was, super deep and cool and because I had tattoos and I knew some obscure bands and you know played drums and I thought being different was a personality. I wasn't building anything real. I was I was just chasing sex and novelty, hooking up with women because I was addicted to the high, not the connection, just the rush. I spent more time crushing on church girls who didn't like me and hanging out at coffee shops and smoking cigarettes, uh, drinking lattes, and going to hardcore shows. I did more of that than I did doing anything that would help me long term. I mean, at 23, I was playing ding dong ditch with my friends, like I was 13 again, thinking it was hilarious, which it was. But fun times. But I wasted so many hours just trying to get validation from people who didn't care if I lived or died. At the end of the day, I thought my life was meaningful because it looked cool in photos, looked cool on MySpace. But all I was doing was burning through the most valuable years of my life, the years where I had the most energy, the most flexibility, and the most time to build something meaningful. Nobody told me I was wasting it. Nobody. And when the world sees you drifting, it doesn't intervene. It just keeps feeding you distraction after distraction, lie after lie, while profiting off of your blindness and ignorance. And then fast forward into my late 20s, um, you know, then I got into a relationship that wrecked my life. She got pregnant and everything changed. And I love my son. I would never undo that. But that relationship, it was a disaster. I did not know how to choose wisely at all. I confused chaos and passion and intensity with love because no one ever taught me the difference.
That's that's a lot of real talk right there. And you got to give him respect for all the accountability that he's taken in his video, right? I mean, from admitting his mistakes, admitting he wasted years, and now he's trying to do something with his life by starting a YouTube channel. I don't know if maybe that's the direction that I would suggest, younger people to take, because you just never know what could happen to social media. They could demonetize you. They can change the rules. They can just stop paying out. And then what? What do you have? You have nothing, right? But with that being said, it does take courage to do what we do. Most men can never do this. They can never speak in front of a camera and then allow everyone else to judge you based on what you say. You got to be a special type of individual, right? But let me shift this to something a little bit different right here for all the men that might be watching right now, the young men. Some of you may be feeling lost as a result of your actions. You may not know where your life is headed. You may even feel like you're completely alone. And if that's you, you got to hear me clearly. This is your window. This is your time where you stop chasing distractions and you stop worrying about who's around you and start putting all of your effort into rebuilding your life. Because here's the truth. Being alone and being lonely are not the same thing. Loneliness comes from having no purpose. You could be surrounded by friends, family, girlfriend, and still feel hella lonely if you're not moving towards something real. But being alone, that's completely different. Being alone is your opportunity to lock in, to cut out the withdrawals, and to focus only on deposits into yourself. You get that? This is where discipline replaces regret. This is where consistency replaces your wasted time. And this is where solitude becomes strength instead of emptiness. Being alone is not your enemy. Wasting your alone time is. And honestly, that's why I do this. It's not just about reacting to men and women doing stupid shit online or saying stupid shit online. It's about using those moments as lessons. And of course, mixing in my own life experiences so you walk away with some sort of value. Because if you're giving me your time, I want you to leave with something that can help you. A little bit of food for thought. Maybe something you could apply, something that keeps you from ending up with the same regrets you just heard. That's the purpose of this channel. It's not just entertainment. I can't be the kind of guy that's going to be singing and dancing or acting like a jackass on social media. You'll never see that here. But guidance, real talk, real experience, real value, that's what you're going to get from this channel. So if you're tired of wasting time, I would suggest stick around, because every video here is about giving you tools to make sure your story doesn't end up the way his did. That's all I'm going to say for now. Leave it in the comments. I'm always going to link back to the content creator so you can find them in the description. Goes on for about 10 minutes or so. Like I said, he says a lot of good shit. And I'll see you guys on the next one.